Hi everyone. How are you guys doing? Hi Ruby. Hi Midnight. Welcome. I know Ruby, you're usually like right after the whole screen, which is really funny. This music's a little loud. Maybe it's just on my end. All right. So I'm gonna get into the community read. I'm really excited because like we've left spooky season and now we're entering cozy season. It is officially sweater weather. So I'm pulling out my cozy decks, which is sorry for the lights here, but the chubby, which is night in, and then I'm pairing it with the black thumb tarot. So very, very excited. All right, let's get started with excuse me guys. I got sick and right after Halloween, and I still can't can't beat the cough. All right, so we have here, be prepared for anything. Oh, there we go. Nice focus there. I feel like let me check something real quick. I also like to check the moon phases and see what's ahead of us. Even though I don't know astrology that well, I still like to check. All right, so we're in the third quarter right now. We're coming up to the new moon for next Thursday. So this is being prepared for anything. I think that is just a sign for us to be a little flexible in this time of year. Things can get a little hectic for a lot of people around the holidays. So, just try to go with the flow a bit, just maybe expect the unexpected. Let's see what the next card has for us. Ooh, let it simmer. I like this. I feel like it makes it feel like there's like a lot of high. Oops, I forgot to open up the queue. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I got started talking. There we go. Y'all should be able to join now. So, So I feel like this is like saying it's kind of insinuating that there's like a lot of high energy around. There's a lot of things that are going to be going on, just maybe a lot of changes, a lot of movement, and just through all of that, try to be as go with the flow as you can. Just be prepared for those things changing. And as those things are moving around you, let them move, right? Don't try to control it, I would say. Just kind of let the energy be how it's going to be, and it'll eventually pass by, or it'll start to make sense or simmer down. However, let's see. Let's do our last card for the community. Ooh, you are more than your memories. I feel like this one stands out in a sort of way. And her shirt says Moonchild. That's so funny because I was just looking at the moon phases. But I think that, a lot of times in this time of year, we tend to reflect a lot and stuff like that. And sometimes it could lead to wallowing, especially because these feel like very still cards where things are moving around you, but you yourself are not. And this card, Ruby, this one is Let It Simmer. So I feel like, we are just needing to understand that as you're reflecting on things and as the things are moving around us, don't dwell on the past, I would say. Look forward to the future, but don't get sucked into how things are pulling you along. Don't be pulled along, rather. Just let things kind of, what's that saying? Water off a duck's back, right? You're welcome, Ruby. Yeah, this card stands out in a kind of way. It seems like it stands out from the others, which is interesting. Wonder what that means to some folks. All right. You have a few folks in the queue already. I'm gonna get started with you, Hot Sun. As my mod, would you like an extra tarot card, or would you like an oracle card to go with your reading? And then while Hot Sun is working on getting their question in, I have in the queue Midnight for Mariana and Luke. And since I have my subscribers in the queue, my early birds anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the stream. There you go. Ugh, excuse me. All right, let's get this deck all shuffled. I feel like I haven't used the Black Femme Tarot in Ruby. That's very much what it feels like. It's like the drum roll before the magician reveals their act kind of thing. Stage magician, to be specific. But I haven't used this deck on stream in a while, so I'm very excited to pull her out. Let's see your connection with the Hot Sun. All right. You have the Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, and then the Three of Wands, which is interesting because you're kind of going up in order here. You have 8, 9, 10. Feels very interesting because had you just had your normal 3-card reading, that would have been very consecutive of you. So how long have you known Dee? Just asking because I see a few different things here, but just to get more context for my understanding. You have a lot of fire energy here. Okay, almost a month. So the reason I ask is because of the Wheel of Fortune there, like towards the center of your reading. Actually, real quick, let me get my water jug. I thought I had it, but I don't. Sorry about that. So the Wheel of Fortune, when it pops up in a reading like this, it feels like, there's some ebb and flow between you guys. Sometimes it's, really smooth and easy, and then other times maybe a little confusing how things are. So if that's the state you guys are in right now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just this phase here, which can be hard to overcome. But I think some of it is maybe a little bit of self-induced, and then the other part of it is just not maybe being able to release that energy because of communication. Even though you say you're talking, but making sure you're communicating your needs and worries and stuff like that. So the Eight of Swords is generally a sign of anxiety. Hey Ari. But the thing about it is, it's not negative in the sense that you're in a negative situation. It's usually more so indicative of like putting your own anxieties on yourself. So I would say that this is something that maybe you're worried about how things are between you guys, even though you do talk a lot, or where things are really going, especially mirrored with this Three of Wands here about looking to the future and making actual plans. But I think that like if you zoom out and just look at all this fiery energy here, there's a lot of really great movement and build up around you guys that you should probably lean a little further into. Um, and try to reframe this Eight of Swords to be more communicative, where you're talking about the things that you're worried about, or maybe you are holding on from some baggage in the past, and uh, that is affecting how you're feeling right now. There is a little bit of resiliency that I see here with the Nine of Wands. This is about, oh, is that more so his energy? Interesting. Okay. Um, there's a need to be resilient during this phase. And I think that is because it's like getting over the hump of just talking into being more serious could be a little more, a little difficult to manage. That's kind of why I would say go back to the communication side of things. Oh, but that's interesting that this is kind of like his energy. I will say with the Wheel of Fortune paired with this Eight of Wands, or Three of Wands. Goodness gracious. I actually think this is really great. I feel like things are gonna start to turn around, and if you start to be a little bit more deliberate in making some plans in the future, you could start to build some actual solid, mm, substantial connection other than just talking, if that makes sense. So I could definitely see how this is still a little new. There's still little green things kind of working out the kinks and kind of testing the water, so to speak. But I don't see anything truly negative. I see a little bit of self doubt there. Um, and I think that's all part of the Nine of Wands. It's just kind of trying to figure it out. And, you don't have to rush. And this is very reminiscent of our community read, actually, where we were talking about just kind of going with the flow a bit. There's a lot of high energy between these three cards, and actually including this one too. Wands and swords are a little bit more uh, just high energy overall. So, try to be a little bit more go with the flow. Let things kind of pan out how they're going to pan out. Don't necessarily rush it, and um, you know, enjoy the process, so to speak. There is a little bit of a grind that happens with the Nine of Wands. It kind of is what it is, though, especially because it's followed by the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands. I don't think it's, I guess I would say it's like a worthwhile grind. Sometimes the grind's not worth it, sometimes it is. All right, Midnight, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Then after Midnight, I have for Mariana, Luke, Andrea, Ari. Welcome back, Ari. I know it's been a while. And then Jokul. You're welcome, Hot Sun. Hi, SB. Welcome. SB, try that again. All right. Immediate repeat. That's funny. So next week you have general for next week. You have the Three of Wands, which is back again, and the Hanged Man. So So I think the Three Wands is a little bit more reversed. I feel like next week is not going to be about making plans and, it's not really going to be about, looking forward, and um it's not you're not tapping into that energy of the fire for next week. I think it's actually supposed to be a fairly still week for you, especially um with this hangman here. I would say that next week is more of feeling like you can find that stillness so you can start to release things, and that release is sort of going to be shaped upon your reflections, and I can deal with slow. So yeah, I think that instead reflecting on what things you need to release or give up or just change in a kind of way that could help open yourself up to avoiding, excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys, avoiding future delays or obstacles and stuff like that. So I would say that this is going to be a much more reflective week. I wouldn't say not a lot of like actual physical action. It's very much more introspective. So I know hot sun. It's not even that. It's kind of a good cough. Like things are finally coming up, but talking through it all is hard. Hi Yvette, welcome. Alrighty, for you are up next. So remember, guys, I do about 2 to 3 readings for free, or cards rather, for free. And then if you would like a more in-depth reading, you can get a mini reading, or you can get a full reading. All right. Let's see what Spirit wants you to know right now. I think Spirit wants you to know that it is okay to be ambitious and make some moves that you have been wanting to make, even if you're feeling a little um emotionally tapped out, right? So the 5 of Cups is sort of like, you've been focusing, or emotionally you've just been dealing with some really draining things, and they've been weighing on you. But the good things, the positive things out of the 5 of Cups is that there are the 2 upright cups in the back. There are still good things that are going on. So I think that the Knight of Swords here, and I'm sorry, I don't think I said your cards. Knight of Swords, 5 of Cups. I think the Knight of Swords here is really indicative that, like, Spirit is saying, now's the time to take some action. This, especially like mentally, get yourself out of your funk. And a lot of that can be driven by being inspired by things and just having some, ideas that you want to explore a little bit more. And that way it will help get you out of that mindset on from this 5 of Cups here. And I like the Knight of Swords, just, general caveat. Be careful about moving on from one thing to another to another. The Knight of Swords can be very impulsive. So just, be a little careful in that regard. Don't let it turn into a crutch and a distraction. Let it instead be more of a refocusing on your current energy and putting it to something more productive. Alrighty, Mariana, you are up next. You're welcome for. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Helps with the algorithm. Oh, thank you for. That is very nice of you. I appreciate hearing that. I'm glad when I can give things, even if they're not the most positive, I try to frame it in a way that is more actionable for people, and always try to like to give people something that can empower them through my readings as much as possible. Ooh, this month feels very much like a grounding month for you. So November is about, I think it's going to be about regaining your energy. And I think that this might be a really good month for you financially. The Four of Pentacles. So overall, you have two pentacles. You have the Four of Pentacles and then the Nine of Pentacles. They are both pentacles imbue the earth energy. So there is a lot of stillness there, and rootedness and groundedness, which is great if that's what you're looking for. If you're hoping for like some movement and high energy, not necessarily what you're going to find this month. But I will say with that Four of Pentacles, I feel like you're starting off the month building security for yourself. So this can look like finances. I don't like to over like specify for general readings like that. But as you can see in the cards, like coins are very much the center of focus. So this could be about finding stability with your finances. This could be reflective of your job, your overall career. It could be your home life and even your health. So pentacles can have a lot of different aspects to them. I think in this regard, it's just overall feeling like you are more secure. I feel like it's much more of an energy thing, and then other things, like other little things, can add on to it that makes you feel that way. But I will say too, there is the ask from the Four of Pentacles to be a little bit conservative with your energy. Try not to overspend your time, overspend your energy to things that are not worthwhile and that you may not get back. It's okay to be a little stingy right now with your time and energy. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles, which I feel like is, you spent, it almost feels like the beginning of the month and then the end of the month. So you spend the beginning of the month being a little frugal and stingy with your time, and then in the end you can reward yourself for having done so. The Nine of Pentacles, she is very much basking in her basking in her rewards, and being able to enjoy the fruits of her labor and just maybe splurge a little bit. This is kind of where you do spoil yourself in a kind of way. So if you have been, you find you have been having a pretty good month, you feel really rooted and connected, and now's the time to kind of, enjoy that, then make sure you allow yourself that give yourself permission to do that. So it's a balance of being a little stingy, but then being a little free with your energy. Alrighty, Luke, you are up next. Thank you for subscribing. That you're welcome, Mariana. Ooh. Improving communication as an introvert. Do you want 4 cards or do you want an overall oracle card? Let's see where you can improve on your communication. Oops. Okay, perfect. I didn't want to flip them before I like heard how many cards he wanted. All right, let's do last card. Ooh, you have one of the unique cards in this deck here. You have the spirit guides. So we have, and I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera is not wanting to focus here. It's very blurry, I'm realizing. I'll fix that later. So we have the Page of Wands, the Emperor, Ace of Pentacles, and then the Spirit Guides. So like I was saying, the Spirit Guides card is kind of a unique card in this deck, and I'll talk to you. It's very literal, so you can kind of already get an idea of what it means. But you have a lot of energy in this reading as well, but balanced with the Pentacles, which I like. So you have your two fiery cards here with the Page and the Emperor. Then we have our Earth card here with the Ace of Pentacles. So I think there's a little bit of balance here that you will have to sort of achieve if you want to improve, right? And what's funny is you ask about improving your communication, and you have no swords cards. So I think that I really think that means like, so swords, being the air sign, is about communication, is a lot more of the mental fortitude and being able to communicate things effectively, or maybe lack thereof, depending on the card. So not having swords but asking about communication is indicative of you being able to communicate, but learning how to balance how you source the energy in which you do it. So the Page of Wands, pages are our students. They're always eager to learn and try new things. The Page of Wands specifically likes to explore, likes to really just, they're excited to try new things in general. So I think, Luke, that one of the things that you'll have to do is explore how you have been communicating and what different techniques are out there, right? So I'm going to talk about a few things here, but the page also is saying, outside of this reading, what other things can you take away from, or how are there other ways that you can learn as well? So one side here we have the Emperor. The Emperor is really like the card of authority. So I think this just is really tapping into that confidence, being able to be a little structured with yourself in how you communicate and how you decide to communicate, especially with this new guy that you met, right? So I think that, and let me give a practical example. I think as introverts, it's easy to assume you're communicating, and the other party is not receptive to it because they don't understand the nuance of that. Then the other side is over communicating and then burning out because it's exhausting. So I think if you find a structure that allows you to kind of like, if we go back to our community read, like kind of slow and steady, like go with a more balanced approach in terms of not trying to go all in, but also not letting yourself recede, as an introvert might, and just being able to identify that structure that's needed in order to do so. And then on the other side here, we have the Ace of Pentacles. I think this is always just the reminder that one of the things that helps you when you're having to expel energy that's is a little taxing or a little exhausting when you're doing something that's just not inherently energizing to you is to make room, remind yourself to make time to ground yourself, reset yourself, and being able to draw that energy back in. in those times when you feel a little bit more drained. And um oh, you got the message to let him take the lead and take things as they come without getting any hopes up. I mean, I think there's pros and cons to that for sure. Like, I would say that if I were to take the message you just said and combine with what I'm seeing here, is that the reminder is that just because someone's taking the lead does not mean that you don't have your own autonomy and your own um, requirements to doing things. And that's kind of seen here with the emperor. You still have to set some guidelines as well. It's still a two-way street, is really like the reminder. And then at the end of the day, I think that part of your reset should include your spirit guides. That's really where I feel like overarching is always like kind of reset and reach out to them in times when things start to feel a little difficult. Yeah, the hermit can be good or bad. I know that's like one of our birth cards, so it's interesting to see. But I think that if you think about it in that, since it is your birth card, it could be a sign that you're falling into old habits. You're being yourself again. I meant that in a joking manner, but you get it. All right, Andrea, put your question in the chat. And then I have in the queue Ari, I have Jokul, I have SB, Debbie, and Yvette. So make sure to remember, guys, if you miss your turn, you will have to tip your way back into the queue because it's inconvenient. All right, let's see what the month has for y'all. Don't be scared by the reading. It's definitely just like hey, you're falling into I'm not going to end with the Tower. One more card. Okay. So, November seems like it is going to be a little bit tough. Was normally going to pull two cards, but I don't generally like to end with the Tower, especially for a two-card reading. So, November feels a little bit like an uphill battle where we have the Nine of Wands, the Tower, followed by the Ace of Swords. I think you'll get through it based off of the Ace of Swords being at the end, but I think a good portion of November is going to be very taxing. It's going to be very trying. I don't know if you guys have sort of been already going through stuff or if something just pops up soon that you'll have to get through. I feel like something must be going on a little bit, at least with this Nine of Wands, because you're already starting off with feeling like you have to be resilient through something and having to persevere through a lot of work, right? So Nine of Wands is indicative of needing to do a lot of work and persevering through it. So there's a lot of work that has to go on between you guys. And the Tower, while it is the scary card for people, but one of the good things that can come of the Tower, if people are up for it, is that you really break down those walls. So while that can be a very, very challenging time for people, at the end of it you come out sort of like a blank slate and starting from scratch, and oh wow, so you do have a lot of things that you were having to overcome with you guys. And I think that you guys having history means if you're starting from scratch after a while, it's about breaking down all of those preconceived walls and preconceived notions that you had of each other, all of that history, and just ripping it apart and getting to each other's foundation. And that is generally never easy, but usually fairly worthwhile. The good thing is this is followed by the Ace of Swords. There's an air of victory and success with the Ace of Swords specifically. And then there's also, because you have an ace here, the aces are new beginnings, going down a new path. And this feels very much like mentally, you guys have like a clean slate to go down and you are starting fresh. Um, you're starting fresh down this new path together, even though you do have history. So you have 2 fire cards. We have a lot of fire as a community today. So we have 2 fire cards and we have this air card here. There's a lot of energy. There's going to be a lot of churn. The fire and air together can be fueling in a way that drives things forward in the positive, and in the negative can become too much and become combustive. So be careful of letting things get too out of control, right? So in this tower moment, things can start to feel like overwhelming and start to feel like you're out of control. And it's all about trying to gain as much control over this process as you can. And yeah, that is a lot. And like, I'm agreed, Ruby. Sorry so much for your loss. And I hope you guys are able to work through it. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, too, one of the things in here, I mean, not in here, but like just in general, we always have to remind ourselves is, is a juice worth the squeeze? Like, I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet, but at the end of the day, like, what truly makes you happy, right? Yeah, that's really heavy. Alrighty, Ari, you are up next. I'm sorry he's been blowing you off. That's not good. Hopefully you guys can reconnect. There is, like I said, a lot of movement and energy between y'all. So I think a lot of things are going to be changing like day to day, it feels like. Oof, Chicago in the winter. Well, Indiana in the winter. What am I talking about? Yeah, that's really it's a really big move to do that. Tarot aside, make sure you have a support group for yourself, Andrea, whether it be friends, family, whatever. Make sure you have someone that can support you through this move and all of this stuff. I think now's usually the time I ask you guys if you're doing anything fun for the weekend. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I do try to go live every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. I believe I should be here through the end of the year. I'll have some days off in January, but I think we'll be good through December. You're very welcome, and take care of yourself. Be safe with all of that going on. Alrighty, Jokul, you are up next. Like cat gulag? What is that, Ruby? Oh, cat yoga. Oh God. That would just be me rolling on the floor with a bunch of cats. Yeah, I wouldn't even I would not get I would not get very far in the yoga portion. No, I was definitely like, "What is gulag?" Like, cat gulag. That's interesting. Cat yoga makes way more sense. You should do it. Alrighty, SB, you are up next. Ooh, okay. Let's see what's going on for the next 30 days. Oop. Ooh, our second repeat of the night. I think this is one of the first readings without any fire cards, too. So we have the Nine of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So, um, interesting. So I think the Nine of Cups I really like because emotionally, I always like nickname this the wishes fulfilled kind of card, where just emotionally you feel very fulfilled in the things that you have been um sorry, wanting to you're very your cup is being filled emotionally, I feel like, with this connection. It honestly feels very happy, very positive reading overall. There is a little bit still here with the Four of Pentacles about, you know, mm, even though things are good, there's still the reminder to um be reserved in how you move and where you expel your energy and stuff like that. But I don't mean it in a negative kind of way. I think that, it's just like a reminder to stay rooted and stay grounded. The Four of Pentacles is very much about conserving your energy and being very deliberate and intentional with where you um, give your energy to others or to other things, for example. But paired with the Nine of Cups, I think that this is overall pretty good next 30 days in terms of your emotional fulfillment and just, not feeling burnt out in general. It feels very much like you're conserving your energy, and it almost feels like a very replenishing next 3 months in terms of this relationship. Yeah, it's always a I feel like it's a continuous journey of being, like, mindful um and being, like, deliberate sometimes about that. It's always nice to have a little reminder, right? But I think that overall your connection seems fine for the next 30 days. I will say one of the things I will say about this, because people like to know too, is Cups and Pentacles are the slower moving cards, the slower energy of the suits in tarot. So maybe not a lot is happening, but it will feel very pleasant. So maybe not a lot is changing. There's not a lot necessarily going on, a lot of events happening. But I think that's probably what leads to the Four of Pentacles and feeling like fairly reserved in that kind of way. Hi, Kendra. How are you doing? Excuse me. So remember, if you missed your turn and you'd still like a reading, make sure you send a tip to my Ko-fi, because that's the penalty for missing your turn and still wanting to get a reading. I'm good, Kendra. Hope you are having a good week and looking forward to the weekend. I'm very much looking forward to the weekend. Debbie, you're up next. What's the good news you're looking for, Debbie? Ah, last card. Come on. There we go. So you have the Chariot and the Five of Cups. This feels like not exactly like feels like a yes and no. So usually I like to start with the major arcana, but I'm going to start with the Five of Cups because I think it will make more sense that way. Five of Cups is feeling like emotionally disappointed and drained and just, overall struggling emotionally. But the thing about the Five of Cups is, while sometimes we're focused on those negative things, there actually are good things happening. So it feels like there are good things that are going to be happening this weekend. It's just whether or not you notice. And I think that with the Chariot, the Chariot feels very much like a reminder that you have the willpower to get out of that state, so that way you don't miss out on those good things that are being presented to you. The Chariot is about having control or taking control and being able to move forward. While it imbues like water energy, there is a lot of movement implied with the Chariot. So I think that if you allow yourself to move out of this state, whatever you need to do to get out of that, then yes. But if you can't get out of it, then I would say no, in the sense that you probably won't feel it or notice the good news, so to speak. Feels very much like a maybe. Sorry. I mean, feels very unfinished. So finishing off with that Five of Swords kind of has that same energy, where I think that you have some distractions. So yeah, Debbie, I think that with the Chariot, I think it's a sign that you have what it takes to spot that good news and all of that, or spot these good things coming towards you. You just have to be deliberate in pulling yourself out of those negative distractions. Alrighty, guys, I am going to I'm feeling good. I'm gonna hang out a little bit more. I was gonna close the queue, but it's fine. Okay, Yvette, go ahead and put your question in the chat. You're welcome, Debbie. Hey, welcome, Capricorn. Look, you've been in my chat before. It's been a while. Or maybe I just have a bad memory. Ooh, medical insurance specialist. I'm going to look at it more so, instead of like a yes or no question, like how it'll go and describe that. And I think that you can intuit whether it's something that you'll enjoy or not enjoy. So we have the back to our fire here. We have our Two of Pentacles and then the Strength card. So, it's very interesting because I think that I love, first of all, I love when pentacles pop up for like job questions or career questions because it's sort of indicative of whatever that card is of the finances being part of the answer, which is, I mean, that's why we all work, right? Nobody dreams of labor. So, like the Two of Pentacles specifically is about balance. Twos are balanced. They're also duality in a sense. So it's about having or making decisions, how you balance your time. And I think that this job will allow you to be able to take control over that and kind of have a little bit more control over maybe like your, for example, your schedule at work or, you know, how many clients or I don't really understand the field, so I can't give like real tangible answers, but I feel like you kind of get the gist of what I'm uh getting at there. And then on the other side, we have the strength card. I think this job is going to feel fairly empowering. Um, the strength card is not about like your physical strength, it's about your like mental fortitude and your inner strength and being able to shine from within. And I think that this job is going to give you the opportunity to do so. So there's going to be very much a balance of um, a lot of movement from this fire, a lot of high energy, and I think that means opportunities and and stuff like that, balanced with you being able to make the right decisions for yourself within this job um and being able to weigh out those different options and stuff like that. So I mean, to me this sounds very pleasant. This is something that is pleasant to me. So I hope, for you it's descriptive enough um to give you that answer as well. um I wish I could see people's like um profile photos. I feel like yours is really cool and I can't really see it really well a bit. But yeah, I mean, if I were to make this judgment, I say that you definitely enjoy your job. It seems chill, but like still enough going on that you're not bored too. Kind of gives that kind of. Alrighty, Kendra, you are up next. You're welcome, Yvette. Thanks for letting me reframe your question a little bit. I always feel like that it helps a little bit. All right. Let's see, Kendra. So you've been talking to a guy for a few months and you want to know if you should stop pursuing him. So let's see what's going on between y'all and then we can kind of make that call. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I don't know much about like the medical fields in general, so it's all very interesting to me. So this is a unique card in this deck. It's kind of like almost like it is a specialty card. And it says trust the message. So I don't know if you've asked like other readers or like other people for advice about this before. I would say that you should probably trust those messages that you have been getting and trust the signs that you're being given. But I will say that I'll describe what's going on between y'all. and it'll be up to you to decide if you should or should not. I don't like to make that decision. I want to empower you to be able to make that decision for yourself. So you have the Sun, and then you have the Seven of Wands. the The Sun card actually is a fairly positive card. There is a lot of joy and warmth that you get with the Sun card. It's just overall a very happy card in the tarot, and there does have this element of success here. So I think that, you guys, uh, oh, that's so interesting because that's how this one seems too. It seems very positive. So it's very funny you say that because thank you, mods, again for helping everybody get into the queue. By the way, it's funny you say that because in a previous reading, I told someone like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what you have to ask yourself. So you have the Sun card, which kind of seems to match all of the other positive readings you have gotten, paired with the Seven of Wands. This is the part where I would like pause and say, is the juice worth the squeeze for you, right? You're looking for happiness. You've gotten signs from other people that this is going to be something that is successful, but the Seven of Wands indicates that it's not something that's going to happen immediately, and instead you're going to have to persevere long enough to get to that point. I don't know how long. That's not really like part of what I asked here, but it's definitely something that you would have to put up with, and at the end of the day, do you want to? Even if something is good and something on the horizon seems good, if the path to get there, it doesn't feel worth it to you, then should you do it or not, right? So one of the things about the Seven of Wands is about also feeling like you're in control too. So I wonder if that's part of it is, they're too busy. So there's no real like control over the relationship because they're always like, one foot in, one foot distracted by something else. So not feeling like you have control over this might be part of why you're so hesitant and don't want to even bother. And I feel like, you're probably going to keep getting a lot of the same similar answers of, yeah, this is positive. This person is probably cool. They probably just have a very busy lifestyle for whatever reason, whether it be work or social obligations or whatever. And that just doesn't gel with you, and that's okay. I mean, I think you might be looking a little bit for permission from tarot to not continue on because even though things are technically positive, they don't mesh with you. So I would say, go with your gut at the end of the day. We are literally people on the internet slinging cards for you, so trust your own instincts. We can never know the situation any better than you do. Excuse me. But yeah, I would say like it's not about whether the relationship is good or bad. It's about what it is you want to put up with and what matches your lifestyle. You're very welcome. Alrighty, Capricorn Sun, you are up next. And then I have Oja. Excuse me. I have Oja after that. Let's see what's going on between y'all. Whoopsie. All right. Next card. Here we go. Thanks for the confirmation, Oja. This does not feel very much like the same page at all. You have the Seven of Swords and the Four of Cups. And And even though you have cups here in this relationship reading, it's not really the best cup card. I'll start at the beginning. The Seven of Swords to me is also not a good sign. This is really a card of like, is like to choose my words wisely when I'm saying stuff like this, but it feels very deceptive. Like there is not a lot of honesty that is happening in regards to this relationship. And then on the flip side, there's a lot of just apathetic feelings. So it doesn't seem like there's any connection here at all. Regarding even your Sagittarius. And this gives me pause. Like Seven of Swords, very much a card of like kind of backstabbery, kind of like I don't like to go as far as say cheater, but you know, it kind of has those negative kind of vibes to it. And then even the best card here that you have, the Four of Cups, is still not very pleasant. It's about like being presented with emotions and just being very apathetic about receiving them. So alrighty, Oja, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Welcome, SK. Welcome, Jess. Ari, since you missed your turn and like rejoined, if you rejoin, you have to tip to rejoin. Excuse me, guys. Sorry for all the coughing. Alrighty, let's see what's to come with this connection. Not you, Oja. You're fine. So Five of Swords and the King of Wands. Really interesting combo. Five of Swords kind of makes it feel like internally you guys are just actually let me pause for a second. Not much, Ari. I don't have a designated number, so to speak. Let's see. So the Five of Swords tells me that there's almost like a win at all cost kind of thing happening here between y'all, where I feel like, you know, you guys are gonna make it work one way or another. I don't think that's necessarily a good or bad thing. If this was like a private reading, this is where I would want to really explore this card a little bit more, because I feel like there's so much beneath the hood there that I just can't unpack in a live stream. But otherwise, in general, if I were to sum it up, I would say that this is a very ambitious card. There are a lot of ambitions between you guys. There's just in wanting to move the connection along, so to speak. And then ending with the King of Wands, there's so many things that are going on between these cards. But to sum it up, I guess, the King of Wands is he's the like big picture king, who he's the one, he kind of sees the big picture and he as taking control to shape that image So I feel like there are these little steps to get to the point where you guys have, I mean, I'm assuming you're asking for like in regard to like a relationship. So it feels very much like one of you, whoever you feel imbues the King of Wands here, is going to help shape that vision and really kind of take control over it, not in a bad controlling way, but like just really driving and building that relationship up. Yeah, I think it is positive. I think this is just a very weird way to get there. Um, Maybe something worth exploring in the future, but overall, I think that it is fairly positive. And you have air here, you have wands here. It's very fueling and drives a lot of energy forward. Alrighty, SK, you're up next. You're welcome, Moja. Thanks for being patient. So you have two questions here. Do you want the question about success in your career, or do you want to question about the PhD versus other option? And guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Helps subscribed. It helps with the algorithm. Thank you, Hot Sun. Thanks for hanging out. I know I went a little later than I normally do. So I appreciate you for modding. Thank you. Be careful on the road. Have a good weekend. Thank you. All right, let's do a card each. We'll see what card you get for the PhD option, and we'll see which card you get for a different job. So I think, like, success is different for everybody. How we define it is different. So for the PhD, you got the PhD option, you got the Three of Wands. This, I feel like, insinuates that the PhD is the longer path, obviously. The Three of Wands is about planning and looking to the future. So I think you have to be okay with knowing that whatever you deem as success, whether it be a specific position or a specific amount of money you're making, what have you, that success is way down the line with the PhD. It's something that you have to understand that you are planning for and working for. Ari, that's weird. I think it lets you use the PayPal option, which also lets you use a card. Or you can use, if you want to use like Cash App or something. I have that too. Or Venmo or whatever. So then we have the so this feels like you're planning and setting yourself up well for the future, whereas the other option, like focus on just getting a job, is going to be more like you have to grind. Up, there we go. It went through. You'll have to grind, and it's definitely going to be much more of a work yourself up from the bottom kind of thing, um, with the with this. So I think both of them, whatever that money figure or whatever is on the horizon, for both options, it's just you're building from education and then taking that step in, whereas here you're grinding work wise from the bottom up. So it depends which option sounds more favorable to you. I mean, it's your preference, right? Some people like that. Some people want to start from the bottom and just literally work their way up the corporate ladder. Some people want to go to school and then kind of get out and have a better job. So they're kind of grinding in school versus grinding at work. So it depends where you want to put your energy. Like, I have friends that have done this and have felt very successful. I did this and I feel very successful. So, it's six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Ari, I'll get you next once I'm done with this reading. Hey, Janelle, welcome. Alrighty, Ari, go ahead and put your question in the chat. Good luck, SK. Jess, I will call you to post your reading after I finish with Ari. Exactly. At the end of the day, you're putting in effort. It's just a matter of where you're putting the effort in. The path to the end goal is just slightly different. Yeah, if you're in a sciencey field, sometimes there is a benefit to school versus grinding from work, especially nowadays. Like if this was like 2 generations ago, then I would say maybe it doesn't matter, but maybe that does push you one way or another, You're welcome. So just waiting on Ari to put her question in, and then once I'm done with Ari, you'll be up next, Jess. And then I will finish up with Janelle. I'm going to go ahead and close the queue. Everybody who is in. So don't freak out. Oh, yeah. I hate networking, man. Networking is my least favorite part of the job. I am a program manager now, and it's a very people-oriented position. And the other day, like I was talking about someone, and I was like, I cannot for the life of me remember their name. I was like, I became an engineer, so I didn't have to deal with people. And I was like, and yet here I am. Okay. I think I can do this. really bad at characteristics in terms of like tarot, but let's see what we get. Come on, cards. There we go. So I'm going to try to look at this a little more like literally in terms of the cards. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. I like that you got 2 fours. Synthesized souls. Oh, I'm sorry. You just missed me. I closed my queue for the night. I'll be back next Friday, though. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've seen people ask about characteristics before. I don't do it very often, so I'm not like I'm rusty, I feel like. You're welcome. This Four of Pentacles has been popping up all over the place tonight. So I think that in general here with the fours are stability, like applying yourself. So I feel like I feel like one of the things, I know you asked physically, so I'm kind of gonna work my way to that, but like I think they'll like really notice how well you take care of yourself, how well you take care of your physical well-being, and how, you know, living a healthy lifestyle and really putting your health, your physical health first is going to be something that stands out to them. So with the Four of Pentacles specifically, I would say that I feel like this is about how you focus on your I would say this is probably more so the I'm sorry, the fitness side of things. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. This is the fitness side of things where they feel like you work out and like, you know, that is more that's where they see the physical health and you applying yourself in that kind of way. And the Four of Pentacles is also about being very restrictive. So yeah, right? Like I think that, you know, Pentacles is about your physical or, you know, your physical health anyways. So I think that that's going to be part of it. And then on the other side here, we have the Cups. So, you know, just looking at the way she's positioned, I feel like there's like a level of flexibility and like, what's that term they say? Like yoga bod, right? That kind of thing. With the Four of Cups. Also, I would say probably like your skin. So the health side of the cups generally makes me think of someone's skin being really like glowy and like very beautiful. And you ever see somebody that just has like no pores and like very glass skin and, you know, just looks like they exude just exude like really great like skincare, that kind of thing. So I think this is like the physical fitness side of things. This gives like sort of like yoga bod plus like really hydrated skin and just gives off that like glowy, healthy skin vibe. So I think it's a combination of that. I think people underestimate the right soft hydrated skin. People underestimate how much that stands out. People notice that like right away when you have like really clear skin and really healthy skin. So that, and then yeah. Interesting. I'm gonna pull one more card because it's been an interesting way to fish out ooh, so Three of Pentacles. back to that physical health and all of that. So I feel like the while the fours are about like being more restrictive in that, I feel yeah, get that water intake and sunscreen. Who is it, like Anne Hathaway, who like never goes in the sun or something like that? That's what that comment reminded me of. But the Three of Pentacles, I think, is really where you, I would say traditionally in the Three of Pentacles, it's people like lifting stuff up. This card doesn't really like cater to that, but if I go back to the original symbolism, I think that this probably goes back to what I was saying about the whole yoga bod type thing, where you're like lean and probably have built muscles and do, if you do muscle weight training, stuff like that. So very much like notices that you lift and that you're toned and stuff like that. But I guess all of that summed up is really like what overall gives off the inclination that you live a healthy lifestyle, which is, I think, what I was honing in on originally. That's so funny, Ruby. You're like, I have to practice this. Alrighty, Jess, you are up next. And then Janelle, I will finish off with you last but not least. You're welcome, Ari. Let's see what the outcome of the likely outcome would be if you were to move. And then we can decide based off of that what you think you should do. So you have the Two of Cups and the Judgment card. Two of Cups, I mentioned earlier, twos are card of like balance, but also duality and having to make decisions. So, but in this case, I think that it leans more so on the duality side of things and feeling more harmonious and balanced. So I think that, you know, if you were to take a chance on this move and go through with it, I think that, you know, it might lead to you feeling a little bit more balanced and more emotionally connected than you are wherever you are right now. And then the Judgment card, with that, this is the second to last card in the major arcana. This is like where things start to come together and make sense. And oh, that's a good point too, Ruby. That's funny. Oh, I shuffled it already, but I hadn't thought of that. The Judgment card is about clarity in your path forward. And Gemini, I didn't see you in the queue. I did see you earlier, but I didn't see you in the queue. I'm sorry. Let me finish this reading and I'll scroll up and figure it out. So I think that this move will start to help you understand, I would say understand yourself a little bit better and just understand your overall journey a little bit better. I like to call this card like it's like the fog in front of your eyes is kind of cleared away, and the Judgment card is just sort of like shining a light on how things possibly could be for you, and things start to fall into place and start to click a little bit more. So I mean, to me, this sounds very positive. It sounds like that, you know, taking a chance on this move would be a pretty good thing. And but you know, everybody has their own ideas of that. But I'll let you kind of determine that for yourself. You're welcome, Jess. Good luck with the move. Is it like a big drastic move? Those are so scary to me. Alrighty, Janelle, you are up next. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. Hey, Dariana, welcome. My queue is closed for the night, but I will be back next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Ooh, drastic move. Okay. I wish you all the luck in the world. Make sure you still weigh out your pros and cons and don't make drastic moves just because I say so. I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet, so always take big life decisions into your own hands. So for you, Janelle, you have the World and the Eight of Cups, which is so funny because in the previous reading we just had Judgment, which is the card right before that. I just like to see those little consistencies. So the World card is really good in the sense that, it's about that achievement, feeling like you have reached the goals that you have really set out to do. So if you are looking to bring in things romantically, I think that is something that is going to be coming towards you, but you have a few things that you need to do first to get there. And the World card is very long out to me. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which is also more slow-moving energy. So I don't think that this is something that is going to happen overnight. I would say that this is probably going to be at least like a year's journey, honestly. So the Eight of Cups tells me that there's a lot of work to do in terms of being able to emotionally allow yourself to open up to the point that you can even accept a relationship in. It almost feels like emotionally you had some things that you have to let go of, be able to step away from, so that way you can, and you have to do it like decisively, to move on from, so that way you can open yourself up to being able to receive actual love and romance and all of that in. Otherwise, it's just going to be blocked by whatever it is that you have hanging on you, whatever you've been carrying with you. And I think that this is the journey that's going to take a while to get to this World card, but it definitely is something that it's something you can get to. It's just going to take a while. So I'm sure that's probably not the most pleasant answer, but or preferred answer, I should say, rather. But just know you do have that on the horizon. You're welcome, Janelle. Alrighty, Gemini, go ahead, put your question in the chat, and I will finish up with you. All right, let's see. You have the Two of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Soon? No. I don't know if that caveat changes things. But the Two of Wands is really about making decisions and about how you are going to make the next moves that will help you get to whatever it is your goals are, whatever goals you've set. But the 5 of Pentacles um, feels very much like a roadblock to that. There's a lot of insecurity here with the 5 of Pentacles that's happening, and fives in general. Just kind of, there's a lot of conflict that comes with the fives that I just don't see that, soon, definitely not. Ever, probably not. It just depends if this changes, right? It depends if this conflict or, just, I would say it's almost like an insecurity is the conflict that's happening, whether it's your side or CJ's side or just the combination of you two. I'm not terribly sure, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it unless it's something that you're willing to work on in order to get to the dating option. Alrighty, guys, my queue is clear, so I got everyone. Thank you, mods, for helping out. You're welcome, Gemini. Alrighty, I will catch you guys next week. I will be back here on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thinking of adding another day, but I'll think about it. I've been saying that for like months now. So we'll see. Yeah, I will talk to you guys on the flip side. Bye, y'all.